na iga po, awa iga po, oko iga po, ele. Apuga ike au mala maike au ike papu e pia ika ipu. Ka umeke, kawai ono kana awa aue. O ka hana awai, o ka olelo awai, o ka mana o awai. E ulu no ia o he ke apu e. Ai. Aloha. Aloha. Como mai.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Bill Arakaki. He's the superintendent of schools for Kauai, and he's here to say a few words to you.
Thank you. It's truly an honor to be here to welcome all of you to the summer meeting with all the people here. Welcome to the island of Kauai. This is a beautiful setting. I've had several meetings here with the mayor and different leaders. As you can see, when you overlook the mountain, you look at the ocean, you become inspired. When you listen to the wind, you feel the breeze, and all the sounds of nature. So I'm sure today you'll also get inspired at what we learned today about a beautiful island. The significance of many things that is here on our island. And for Kauai, I moved here 24 years ago from the island of Oahu. And I've stayed on this island, and I think I'll probably stay here until I retire. It's a beautiful place, and I learn a lot. You know, I'm not from here, but each day as I visit my schools, I visit the people, I learn a lot. So those of you who are not from this island, please enjoy and learn the many things that we have offered here for you. So thank you so much.
Alo nui kapua paulua, na hoa, na kamahele, na malihini, na kamaaina hoi a koko meili, min kela aina ki aina o kapai aina nui o Hawaii nei ko kako aina aloha. No rila, te aloha no ke ia au kupakahi a paulua, I loho ka polipume hana o lava I kai. No rila o mako ke ia he poe kupa I hele mei nei nana ia o kou, malama ia o kou. No he he ini, he kuko, he mea e pono e ia oko, olu, hele mai, ninau mai, niele mai, noi mai ia mako. Mai waboko, na mako kuikui ia oko, hele aku ia e te seba. Oi, and just to add a couple of 2 cents to our superintendent over here, I had the honor of working with Bill at Waimea High School. I taught there for a couple of years. Loved it. I'm born in Waimea, raised in Kekaha, so that's my hometown. And the kids and their parents are all kama'aina to me. Loved it over there, and just to put Bill on the spot for a little bit, it was he who approached me while I was there, saying, Kia, why don't we have Olelo Hawaii here at Waimea High School when that is where the biggest population of native speakers are, native speaker students. And so, and when he said that to me, it was at the May Day program, and I said, I was just gonna say the same thing to you. How come Waimea High School doesn't have a Hawaiian language program? And yet Kauai High School has had, Papa'a High School has had, and yet we have the biggest native speaker population in the world at Waimea High School. But, so I'm putting it back on Mr. Bill, the superintendent over there, to make the positions open at Waimea High School so we can have it, because I understand that according to the principal, that's the biggest problem right now, is that they're looking, the student population of Waimea area has decreased in the past few years. I don't know why, but so they've been getting rid of teachers instead of hiring teachers, and so the positions need to be created for the Hawaiian language teachers and Hawaiian studies teachers, and I want to be a part of it, and all of us over here, because we want to come home. And so introductions, I'm Kiel. I'm from Kekaha side, but I teach right now at UH Manoa in Honolulu, a place I call Purgatory. Hey. But no, Honolulu has been my work home for the past several years, since '97, teaching over there. The majority of my family actually come from Oahu, so I get chok aloha for Oahu. My mom is from Keoka, Hilo. I get chok aloha for Hilo. I cannot decide which place I want to be the most, but ultimately, Kau is home. Oh, ale ke lahi mea nui loa.
I was studying for Tiao. He just received his doctoral degree. So he's now Dr. Tiao Naismith, graduate from the University of Waikato in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Really born Hilo, Hawaii, but I raised up over here, Waimea, Hawaii. Yeah, family come from both sides. Grandpa side from Hilo, Kilpa side, Kalapana, and my grandma side from Hanapepe, Waimea. Yeah. And then also Hana Maui. I'm currently living on Oahu right now, helping take care of Heia Fish Pond, right across the street from Philly. Currently living caretaker over there, we're restoring the fish pond, 800-year-old fish pond.
Ke aloha ia kākou. O kaina makua. No nei no kau ini. Ana ia ini. Ana ia ini. Ko papa no Keoka. Hawaii. Ko mama no nei. Haia. Ke aloha.
Aloha. Te manu tinuam. Ahupa awaiava. Moku Kona. I caretake on a mango farm right now. Trying to do a lot of cultural, spiritual. Maybe one day malama the heiau that's out in the back. So, yeah. Mahalo.
We get two others in our crew. They're downside. Ho'omakokau, some things down Makai to get ready for all of us. But yeah, so we're down over there, and we're the Aha Awa crew. We will be conducting the Aha Awa in about hour or two. Downside by Makai side, under the coconut grove by Queen Emma's cottage down over here. And so we've been doing this kind of work for a few years now, and we started doing this because of Etisebra Kauka. She's our alakai, our po'o of Napali Coast Ohana. That's our hui. We take care of cultural sites along Napali, in the Napali district. And our season is every summer. We take a trip for 2 or 3, go inside for a few days, camp. And we are mainly working right now at Nu'ololokai. Nu'ololokai is the only beach access, well, not the only, I guess, but it's the most popular one because you can beach land at Niluri too. But this place, the only place to get around Napali, only way to get around is by boat because it's all pali, yeah? So that's why they call it Napali Kui or Napali because it's all pali. And so we take care of the cultural sites inside Nu'ololokai is our most recent project. Lots of rock structures all inside over there. If you guys could go, blow your mind. It's pretty awesome. Lots of different functions for all these different this whole complex, these different structures inside over there. Our job has been, I've been with the Hui since 2004, soon after I brought my brothers here. And Anti-Saber's been doing it since Hurricane Iniki time. The work has been to, first of all, whack all the weeds and stuff like that. When they first arrived, weeds were all this high. Now it looks almost landscape, nice grassy areas and stuff. Then the work was to map everything, and so we had the help of archaeologists, locals. People come, talk to Uncle Patty Boy. Malama is pretty much the kahu of our hui. His ohana is directly from the Ololokai from way back when. I have ohana from Miloli'i, the next valley over. Some of us have other ohana connections to all over there, so we feel a sense of ownership. You know, we feel like this is our place, and to us is that's enough reason for us to want to go there every summer and do the work that we do. But in addition to that, it's just really cool. Really cool the kind of stuff we find and do. And so we've been doing that kind of work. Now we're in the rebuilding phase, reconstructing the walls and the rock structures. There's a lot more to go, and we're going to do it all until it's all finished because we're not leaving anytime soon. And so we plan to keep up on that. So to us, it's really important. And then we decided to, when we finally hit the cleaning weed stage down good, then we decided to advance to the next level to do the reconstruction. That's when we committed ourselves as a hui to come together and have a aha awa of our own over there. And because of that, Auntie Saber asked me if I would help do that. So I met with Kamana Opono Crab on Oahu. He's a good friend of mine from years way back. And he had gone through training on this kind of work with Auntie Okuleni Hopadila on Maui and the Kanaka Oles in Hilo, and had been doing it several times. And so I had worked with him. I used to get together with them, the Halimua gang, on Oahu when I was living there in the 90s. And so I had been helping them whenever they did aha over there. Then when Auntie Saber asked me, then I approached Kamana Opono about that. And then, so we went over the training again and again. And then he gave me the material and information and said, go make a kawaii style. And so this is what we did. So we want to talk about what is aha awa and what is it for and how does it happen or what is involved in aha awa. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first off, I'm going to have Peleke talk about Kino Lau. And
Like, one of the main Kino Lau we use besides the awa is the wai. The Kino Lau of Kane is one of its forms. Waipuna. Waipuna. The spring waters. And we hold them in the ohe. It's also one of the other Kino Laus of Kane. And we get a couple of the pale that we have that surrounds the ceremonial parts and stuff. We get olena, one of the pale and the cleansers for the ceremony. And we get Pakai, it's also another pale. And then also get limukala too.
Limukala?
Limukala.
Limukala.
It's one of the for the color. Color.
Another color.
Pale. Yeah.
Pale is kind of a protection. Yeah. Yeah, so we in the setup, this is kind of like the setup over here. We have the main focal point of the whole of all the implements that we have is the kanoa. So the kanoa is the main focus. So everything is in relation to where the kanoa is situated, and so you'll see this at the center. And then next to the kano, you'll see these pale that Peleke is talking about. So we have the olena one side, pakai one side. And the purpose of that is to make it so that this is a special space that we're occupying right now. And that we come with the right intention. We want to share in the same thought, kind of focus on a purpose, on a mission. And so the pale is to kind of help protect these boundaries that we set for ourselves. And then the limukala is kala is to, when you say kalamai ya'o is to forgive me. So limukala, the symbolism of that is if anything should happen along the way while we're doing this, our intentions are good for the good, and we were doing this together. But if something should happen, then we ask Kalamai, Kiapua, Kalamai no Kiia Hemehema, if anything should happen. And so if anything should be misspoken or any action should be done maybe improperly, we try to do it right. So Kalamai for the shortcomings that we have and stuff like that. That's what Kala is for. And then
in the Awa. Okay. So, nara kina lau hapa. Here's one of the kalapa. In that time, we usually do them is during that kind of piko wakea, when the sun stay right above us. The pono, everything get aligned.
Yeah, so Kane is the central kupuna that we think that oversees the whole aspect. So everything, as you can see, is geared around Kane. So Kane, there are many aspects of Kane. He has many kino laos, such as the ohe, the wai, the spring water, the awa itself is another kino lao of Kane. So in Hawaiian tradition, that is the actual physical manifestation of Kane, is the actual thing. Which is why taking care of the forest is such a big deal, because if it's not Kane, then it's somebody else. It's Lono, or it's Ku, or it's Kananoa. So taking care of all of these things are, many people can trace their genealogies right back to these names. So it's Ohana, we take it kind of in that thought, it's something that it's not so far away from us or so far above us that we cannot attain it or something like this. This is more Ohana connection that we have to these things. But Kane, another kinolao, is the sun itself. And so when the sun is straight above, that's when Kane prevails for that time. So we usually set Aha'awa for midday, anytime the sun is straight up. So that's the time we set for Aha'awa to start. And of course, Aha'awa is centered on Kane, so you get Kane, who take care of the Aha'awa ceremony itself. And so everything is kind of in line. So there's a sense of order. So if you have the kanoa in the middle, then your right side is the Kane side of our personality, of our person, our being. Left side is Wahine. So right side of the kanoa is where the men will be seated, and the left side is where the women will be seated. And we won't have anything straight ahead of the kanoa. We'll be seated with our backs to Mauka and our face to Makai. And then that kind of gives a sense of a freeway open from Mauka to Makai for all of our kupuna o makua to pass through without hindrance. And then everything keeping in order. We keep everything served on the right, stays on the right. And everything that gets served on the left stays on the left. And so we have our servers who will be serving the kane on the right side, and the servers on the left for the wahine. And so preparing the awa, which is important, that's an important part.
Ai walau ana no kia hana ho kai ho maha ka ana ka au. He pohaku ku'i ai, o pili mai. Pohaku ku'i ai. Pohaku ku'i ai. Ole pohaku ku'i. Me kena. O ke ano pohaku ku'i ai ia ai. No kawaii ni ole no. No kawaii ole no. Ke ano ai. O kalalo ai ka mole. Mole. Ai, ka mole.
Mole, malalo.
Malalo Ka mole. O pili mai mole. He hake ia mole, manini. Ka pohaku kui ai ole kui He ai pake. He ai pake. O luna ku'au. Me ke la fo pai. Eh? Oia. Ke ia ka awa, na a. Ke la. No leila o ka hana. O ke ano ke ia awa le mo pupu.
Ale mapupu.
Ale mo
Kiko
pupu.
kiko ia.
Eh, Jena. No leila o ka mea mua. Ke huki no ke ipo e awa. Na nano na ano mai e mai ke la. E mai ke. Kai mana ko mo no na ilo goni. Mea ai ke ipo e mea. Eh. No le hemo le no ke ipo e mai. Pau hemo oia ko aku. No leila. Oh. Okay, ia papa. Papa oki. Eia. Papa oki. Mai kwa kai kolo. Kai kolo. Papa oki. Yes. O ka hana ole no, kui ole no. Ki mo la. Mama o hana ia ka oo. Ka oo mea kui ia. Oia. Ia ka pau. Ka awa. O ke ia. Ka mea. Akako hokai inui. No leila. Ku ia nau.
Koloa. O ma'o na keki o lelo mai na no o ma'o mai no ka o ma'o o ma'o i loko ka na hele ina bus
Mao. Oi. Mea o ka hana ku i no Iogo. Ku ia. Elu wali. Kera. Oio le no ka hana. Hoka no ka awa. Me ka oi. Oi puna. Oi kolo.
So you mix that with water.
spring water. So the ka'ina, the order of things that will take place is everyone is seated. We prepare the place. Everyone is seated. And then the closest person to the kanoa on the kane side is the dignitary, the number one dignitary. And then so on and so forth going down the line. Same on the wahine side, the one closest to the kanoa is the dignitary, number one dignitary of the wahine side. And so on and so forth down the road. And we serve in that order from that person. So whoever's sitting there, that's the first person to get served. On this side, same thing. And so yeah,
Well, I was wondering, so it's in order of whether it's an ali'i and it goes down that way when you're seated, and then it's there first.
And in this case, we always defer to. So whenever we're asked, and we've done it quite a few times already, but when people ask us to do a aha awa, it's the host who determines everything. So it's not up to us to determine who is the dignitary. You just set them up and we serve them. So if you're from, in this, for this gathering, Auntie Sabra with her kokua determined who these people would be, and then we just serve them. So we have no say as to who these people are.
Your akau or our akau?
From the kanoa.
Oh,
Yeah, facing out to the ocean. Yeah. So kane wahine. So the order is once everybody is seated, then we have a moment of silence, just to kind of bring us into touch with what's going on around us, the wind, the ocean, each other, and then what we're doing here. And then I'll say kanikapu, and then the poo is gonna blow. And when that is fouled, then the first thing we do is we call in for the wait. Omai kawai akane. And we order for the wait to come inside. The wait will come from one direction, and this will be the container for the wait. This is our container for the whey. Then the whey gets poured into the kanoa while we do a oli. And the oli is in commemoration of the whey and the source of the whey, which is a spring, and the source of that spring water, which is kane. And then when that is fouled, then the next phase we need the awa. So we're going to ask for the awa. Homemade awa. Then someone will come in with the awa. And the awa will come in, and then the awa will be presented, and then poured into the kanoa. And while the awa is coming in, we have another oli just for the awa. And this awa, this oli, specifies the awa from Kauai. And then we add the awa to the kanoa, and then the hoka. Hoka is the straining part. And while we're doing that, we're bringing the two together, and so there's another oli for that, bringing the two together. And then the first thing that happens after that is to commemorate our kupuna, aumakua, and this place, the aina first. So the first apu is called the apuakua. And so the apuakua is reserved for, it's like reserving a space for your kupuna at the table. So this gets served first, and we will determine what it is that this goes to. It could be on a particular plant in the area, it could be on the ground, it could be in the ocean, it could be on a pohaku, it could be on anything that the host determines should get it. And that's symbolic for all of kupuna. We're remembering you first, before ourselves. And then once we do that, then we end that portion of the awa ceremony. So there are two portions. The first portion, all of this with the oli, the presentation of the whey, the awa, the mixing, is the kapu part, because we reserve that for the kupuna, and it's specifically for them. And so we end that portion by covering the kanoa, and then we open it again, and now everything is noa. And the noa portion is for us. So it's in the noa portion, that's when we get served. And then we have a few nice words to say to remind us of what we're here to do, what we hope to accomplish, what our hopes and dreams are, and mahalo to each aina and each moku, each ahupua'a, every single kupuna who is here with us today. And yeah, best that I tell you that now because everything will be in Hawaiian. So I know that we originally had in mind to start at around close to noon. So we're going to bring this section to a close. But before we do that, any comments, questions? Anybody?
Now's your chance.
Oh, mahalo. Oh, mahalo. Yeah, okay. So there are different ways to do it. There's no just one way about the partaking part. And it's up to you if you you can either, when it's served to you, it'll come to you like this. Then you can take it. And some people like to take a little a bit of the awa and splash it either on them, over their shoulder, on the ground, still a little bit on the ground. That's again in commemoration of our kupuna. You're reserving some for them in your thoughts. And then you take some. And if you don't want to drink the whole thing, just you can either take a sip, or if you don't want to take any at all, which has happened too, you can do this thing and then pass it back to the yeah. Yeah, probably better. Probably better you pour the whole thing on the ground. At least it goes to the ground. Yeah, rather than come back to the kanwa. Yeah, so that's fine. And if you're comfortable with that, make it if you want to ask anything in particular, and then the clapping part, some people do. Some people clap like this before they take. Some people don't. Some people clap like this after you pout. And the pa'i part is kind of a moku. It kind of ends. It kind of oki the what you're doing right now. That's kind of the point to it. Yeah, it means you pout. And you don't have to do it, but a lot of people do. In comparison to South Pacific, like Samoa, they do a lot of this kind. Fiji, especially, they do a lot before and after. Um, and in some of our chants and stuff that are related to Awa, there are references to pa'i pa'i because pa'i pa'i is also a part of the process. It's part of the hoka. That's pa'i pa'i too. So, yeah, Nino make it again.
There should be a crew there. We have a whole crew down Makai now who is preparing some mea ai for you, ceremonial mea ai. We have kalo, we have pa'akai, we have limukohu, and I can't remember what else is in that little one. But it's just a little tea leaf square with just sample of those things.
Okay, so here we have it's an extension really because we ending the aha awa officially after we pau serve everybody. Then the ha'i olelo pau, that's the official ending. But we get some ho'onani nani stuff that comes after that too to kind of complement the whole thing. And now this one, the having a sample of some me'ai, all of this is from Kauai. And so we just want to demonstrate that Kauai has what it takes. Kauai has the ai, we have, and we want to share it with you. Yeah, so we have what piece uala or kalo or ulu and some piece pa'akai. Of course, we make on Kauai we make our pa'akai over here, hanapepe side. And so it's just a way for us to demonstrate to you, welcome to Kauai. We want to share with you what Kauai has to offer. And these are kinolau of, for instance, kalo is kane and lono. Uala again is lono. Pa'akai, kanaloa. So we have all the things that represent the whole spectrum that you need, to survive.
Now,
And
can
so,
you just explain the symbolism of, for those that don't want to partake in the awa, in the drinking of the awa, and why do you pour it back onto the land?
my call. That was my call because it's better than to dump it back into the kanoa, and it goes to the ground, which is where awa ultimately came from in the first place. So at least it goes back to a source,
So like
and
papahana
within
moku.
and within the context of a aha awa, yeah. So it's not like you just throw them on the ground any kind of place. It's within the context of what we're doing right now in the awa ceremony that still makes it meaningful. And we're in and we're in the Noah phase too. So, and then the pale is there again. The pa'akai and the olena are there to kind of keep us within the boundaries of what we intend to do. Is what we intend to bring to the table here is pono, and we have aloha for what we do and for each other and for everything around us. And so it's within that thinking that we do these things.
Okay. Mahalo nui e ke au. Me nakane o ka awa.